hands. I'm off the lab.
I will work in Wino for a bit and then I'll see you later.
I will see you later.
Oh!
So good, first try.
Hi everyone, this is Sakiko.
And this is Audrey, and today we'll be taking you through a day in the life of two Harvard seniors.
I'm an integrative biology concentrator with a secondary in classics from Tokyo, Japan.
And I'm a neuroscience concentrator on the mind-brain behavior track, originally from Dublin, California.
Good morning. Today's a busy day, so I'm waking up a little earlier than usual to fit my morning routine in. After I made my bed, I wash my face and brush my teeth to wake myself up, although I'm still a little sleepy here. Today's Wednesday, so it's jogging day. I like to work out in the morning to start my day, so I alternate between weights and cardio depending on the day of the week. To get ready for the 2 miles along the Charles River, I change into my favorite Harvard sweater, stretch and brace myself for the chilly Boston morning. Off I go! I'm back from my jog. As you can see, I'm very sweaty and red. Who needs Asian flush from drinking when you can get red from cardio? Anyway, I took a quick shower and I'm getting ready for the day. I'd say my morning routine is pretty simple. Skincare, drying and curling my hair. This is me very happy with how it turned out. And me getting my bed ready. Today's a windy day, so I'm layering a zip-up hoodie and vest. Winthrop is one of the 12 upperclassmen houses at Harvard, and look how pretty it is. There's an amazing view of the Charles River, and once it gets warm, the courtyard is going to be full of leaves and flowers. Oh, and our mascot is a lion. How cool is that? Here's my breakfast. Multigrain toast, egg, and yogurt with peanut butter, blueberries, ground flaxseed, and a drizzle of honey. I often get lunch quite late, so this will keep me full for a good few hours. Breakfast is done, so now I'm heading to lab. My lab is in the Museum of Comparative Zoology, which is on the other side of campus, so it's always a nice walk. Here's Harvard Yard. I like to greet the John Harvard statue as I walk by, and now we're in the Science Center Plaza. This space is filled with students before and after classes every day, and it looks like Audrey's awake.
Well, I'm sorry to everyone to go from Sakiko's cool British accent to my Valley Girl Californian one. But now we are off to my day, which starts many hours after hers. I wake up basically 30 minutes before any event I have, 15 minutes to get ready, and then 15 minutes to get out the door. I don't really believe in breakfast anymore, but that's okay. It just saves me time and money. So I wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, and then slather on moisturizer, sunscreen.
And it's great that I have this camera now because I usually just use my phone as a mirror because I don't actually have a mirror in this room.
Change really fast and then basically sprint out the door because I'm always late. Sakiko goes on a jog in the mornings. The only extras I get is when I'm sprinting because I'm late to things. So today I am headed off to coffee with a friend at the student cafe. So this is Cafe Gato Rojo, a student-run cafe at Harvard. It's one of my favorite places to grab coffee with a friend in the mornings before class. One of the cool things about Cafe Gato Rojo is that it takes Board Plus, which is just free money that Harvard gives students to spend at specific cafes on campus. So it's one of the cool parts about going here is you get free coffee. Let's see what Sakiko's up to.
Thanks, Audrey. We're now in my lab. I joined this lab in sophomore year as a research assistant and began my senior thesis project junior fall. My thesis was on the morphology of bat backbones, and it was an incredible experience of conducting research here on campus. Today is the senior thesis poster session for IB, which is so exciting. Currently, I'm adding a few last-minute photos of bats on my poster, scrapbook style.
While Sakiko's doing her cool bat things, I am cosplaying as a art history major. So right now I am in my art history class, HA 18P, Japanese woodblock prints. Here are all my handwritten notes from the course. Professor Lippett is one of the best lecturers I've ever had, and I feel like I've learned a lot of really cool things in this class. I also just really like it when I can go to museums like the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston and better understand the art I'm looking at because of the courses I've taken.
While Audrey's learning cool things about Japanese woodblock prints, which I'm actually very jealous about, we're now at the poster session. All integrated biology theses are presenting, so it's really cool to see everyone else's research projects. So this is my thesis poster. I looked at the investigation of morphology and evolution of the bat backbone. I looked at over 30 bats around the world, and I looked at the morphology and how it changes depending on their phylogeny and ecology. And then a really surprising thing was that bats are very weird. And then there were just so many cool things happening with the fusion and anatomy. I'm really glad I did this, and it was such a cool college experience. Now I'll turn it over to my advisor, Dr. Berry.
No, this is a wonderful occasion where you're doing science in your lab or in your field work or whatever, and it's sort of isolated and lonely, and you're scrabbling away. And you put this document together, yes, and it's highly technical, and some people are going to read it and so on. But here you actually get to get the word out. Everyone's roommates come because they've been puzzled about what it was with Sakiko disappearing after dinner every night into some mysterious hole. And what was it with the trauma etched on her face as she struggled through the thesis process? And now they know. And I have to say, I've just seen Sakiko's thesis, and it's a thing, well, her poster, I should say. It's a thing of beauty. Really lovely work.
Now let's see what Audrey's up to.
So for the class I'm currently taking, another art history class, HA 13, Ancient Greek Art and Archaeology, our weekly assignment is to go into the Harvard Art Museums and write about an object the professor assigns. One of my favorite things about classes at Harvard is that they make great use of the amazing resources we have, like the museums and also different media labs. After the Harvard Art Museums, I'm going to head back to Leverett for lunch with my friends. Spotted my friends, Sean, Ryan, and behind us you can spot we got our friend, John, the other day. Oh, let me see if it'll zoom. Feel better balloon, because he finished his thesis and he looked dead afterwards. So one of the great things about living in a residential community that Harvard has is that you get to see your friends all the time. So I don't need to make plans to eat with friends. I just walk into the dining hall, and usually at least a few of them are there. After lunch, I go back to my room to grab a few things, so here is a quick room tour.
Yes, I live in Leverett. I live in the towers, so I have a pretty high up room, and it has a pretty nice view, and a lot of my room is windows, which I really like. So I'm going to take you on a quick spin around. First, I guess, the back. I have a lot of posters up. A lot of these are art posters, because I really like going to museums. You can also see a lot of Japanese woodblock print, which is the class I just came from, so I like seeing them and learning about them in class, too. So yeah, I have a lot of books as well. And a futon. And then one of my favorite parts about my room is my friends and I are currently working on a puzzle, so you'll see that on the ground. Sometimes I'll just work on it, like, between classes or activities when I have time.
Thanks, Audrey. I wish I had that many posters in my room. Now I'm off to my Women and Gender Studies class called Leaning In, Hooking Up, and it's all about intersectional feminism. It's so cool I get to take these incredible electives, even in senior year, and this course is absolutely one of my all-time favorites at Harvard.
While Sakiko's learning about really cool stuff, I am off to do work at the Smith Campus Center with my friend Lily. We especially like to do work on the 10th floor because the views are really, really great.
You buy a large matcha latte and then ask for a cup of ice. And now you have 2 matcha lattes.
For the price of, like, a little, yeah,
No,
basically one.
It's so good. Okay. And then let's see if I can do a pour drink.
Lily, what are you working on today?
I'm working on an essay for my Women's Gender Studies class, which is exciting.
Exciting. I'm working on my thesis presentation. Less exciting, because we've been thesising for the past month and a half, maybe 2.
So while we work, I will hand it back over to Sakiko.
Thanks, Audrey. So class just finished, and I got really hungry. I wasn't able to grab lunch during the senior thesis poster session, unfortunately. So I decided to grab a slice of pizza from the classic Harvard favorite, Pinocchio's, and I'm eating it in Smith Campus Center right now. It was so good, and it definitely hit the spot. Now I'm going to stay in Smith and get some work done. I'm preparing for a group project meeting later today, and I'm also working on some scholarships for grad school.
Wait, that's so crazy. I'm also in Smith Campus Center right now.
No way! Do you want to walk over together?
I would love to.
Walking the lab. Nice hair.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm heading to Widener. You're heading to lab.
This is
What are you doing in lab?
Ooh, surprisingly not hanging out with mice today. I'll be giving a
That's a
fake
surprise.
presentation. I know, right?
Okay, you off to lab?
I'm off to lab.
I will work in Widener for a bit, and I'll see you later.
I will see you later.
Oh!
So good. First try.
All right, so after that lovely walk with Sakiko, I am at lab. So this is the office space of my lab, and here are some of the lovely PhDs and postdocs in the lab. So today I am just going over my thesis presentation. Mine is later next week, so Isabel is giving me feedback and just being a helpful person to fake present to.
While Audrey's preparing for her senior thesis defense, I decided to do some more work in the Wino Library. When I first got to campus, I was a little scared to work in here, but now it's my go-to study spot. I've done a lot of my thesis writing here and coding, which was not that great, but here we are. And now I'm reading a book for a presentation in my polychromy class. It's almost 6 p.m., so now I'm heading out of Winer to go meet with my friend Beatrice to work on a group project for Earth and Planetary Science class on paleoclimate. We're analyzing sea temperature measurements from the Challenger expedition, which sailed around the world in the 19th century, collecting all sorts of data in the oceans. We've actually taken a few courses together before this already, so it's really cool to be able to do a project together before we graduate. Over to you, Audrey.
Thank you very much. So I just finished my lab work, so I'm stopping by to say hi to my PI.
Hi, Audrey.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
And afterwards, because I have a bit of extra time, I'm actually going to go upstairs and say hi to Dr. Barry, who you saw before talking to Sakiko. The difference is that Dr. Barry did not realize I was coming in with the camera, so this is him in his natural state.
Excuse me? What is this? This is an extraordinary intrusion. I mean, is that thing running?
Yes.
I mean, my people will come after you. You can't afford this kind of footage.
So after narrowly escaping with my life and my dignity intact, I am headed back to the Leverett Dining Hall to get dinner with my friends. Meals are included with living here, and it's all you can eat, so basically infinite meal swipes while the dining halls are open. Once again, I love how I get to see my friends pretty much every day for dinner, and honestly, the Leverett Dining Hall is just one of my favorite places on campus because of all the good memories I've had here, whether it's doing work, decorating it for different holidays, or just hanging out with friends. So after dinner, I'm going to go see Sakiko again, and we'll do our joint outro for today before our paths diverge again. So, the last part, or the last joint part of our day in life, because after this, what, you're
Go all separate ways. You're going to play volleyball. No volleyball. A day in the life.
a joint day in life. Well, your day is pretty much over, right, after this?
Yeah, I'll probably do some work. Maybe with a friend. We'll see.
My day's only halfway through. I have an entire agenda after this.
Okay, tell us.
Multiple
tell us
events
your
on the
agenda.
calendar. Thank you for coming along. Wait, you can make a big heart. Wow!
Now I'm back in Winthrop, changing into comfy clothes, and I'm heating up some water for a warm drink while I do some final work in Winthrop Library, which I forgot to film. Sorry. After working, I usually like to take some time to unwind and relax before getting ready for bed.
While Sakiko is winding down and doing some final work for the day, I like to say the night is still young at the lovely time of 9 p.m. So right now I'm playing Dominion with my friends. We do this multiple times a week whenever people are free. It usually just starts because someone sends like the big eye emoji into our group chat. I became way more into board games after coming into college. Growing up as an only child, there weren't really enough people in my family to play board games with at home. But my friend Molly, who's in this clip, is actually the president of the Board Game Club, which hosts board game nights in the Leverett Dining Hall every Saturday.
It's time for my nighttime routine. Pretty simple again with the skincare and just tidying up my room for the next day. And enjoy a little room tour. Most importantly, food. This microfridge unit, there's a Harvard student agency group that takes care of the microfridges, laundry service if you choose to use it. This is like miscellaneous utilities. Special shout out to Bucky. Also a lot of essentials on my desk here. Water kettle and tea. Water bottle. This is my journal. As you can see, I am a Star Wars fan. And then I also have my lab notebook. That's basically it for my desk, I think. Oh yeah, here's Bob, the minion. This is my thesis. I finished writing it a few weeks ago. Got it bound. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh yeah, and no, never mind. That is it. And the final feature of my room are the posters. I'm very proud of them. Here's the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. I'm very proud to say I saw it twice. La La Land is one of my favorite movies, and my dad actually gave this to my mom, but I borrowed it for my dorm room. Audrey actually gave me this illustration of London and the Taylor Swift calendar, so we both have them in our rooms. And behind me is an artistic rendition of Tatooine from Star Wars. Here's also R2D2 and C3PO by the door, also from Audrey. I like to think they wish me luck every day. And last but not least, here are 2 posters from the comic Doraemon, which was absolutely my childhood. That's all from me. Thank you for coming along today, and I hope you now have a fun insight into life at Harvard. Now I'm going to go to sleep and enjoy watching what Audrey's up to for the rest of the night. Bye!
So here I am doing work in the dining hall. I really love doing work in here at night because A, all my friends are here, and B, the fluorescent lighting helps me forget what time of day it is here. Our messenger group chat is always just D-hall work anyone once it gets late. So here are my friends working from various projects ranging from final thesis write-ups to P-sets for classes to even essays. So after finishing up work for the night, here's me and my friend Sonera headed up to a common room for our anime watch session. Alright, I'm back in my room now at, I think, almost 1 a.m. and I'm gonna go brush my teeth, get ready for bed. It's a pretty good day all around. Went to class, got some work done, saw a lot of friends, which was nice. So we'll rinse and repeat that tomorrow pretty much. Bye! Thank you so much for coming along on our day in the life, and once again, like Sakiko said, I hope it gave you some insight into Harvard life, especially as seniors. We had a great time taking along, and have a great rest of your day.
Hello.
Hopefully we're friends.
Future YouTuber here.
Hello, future YouTubers. Hello, subscribers.
Oh, gosh, no.